Newcastle. Moving on, we're going to go to the 5 takeaways and see what 5 things we can learn from the game. And number 1 is patient Austin.
Yeah, Brandon Austin yesterday absolutely had to wait a long time for that chance yesterday. Brandon Austin, 10 years, 78 match day squads without making a single appearance yesterday for Brandon Austin, and making his debut at the age of, what, 25? Was he 26 now? Absolutely incredible. In terms of his numbers, 2 out of 2 run-outs outside the box. He was actually playing a lot higher than Forster does. 2 saves inside the box. 4 out of 4 aerial duels won. So that's 4 out of 4 high claims from Brandon Austin as well. So really good when it came to coming for crosses. Passing was only 4 out of his long passes completed. Actually went long a lot more than Forster and Vicario do. So 13 long passes was definitely, I don't know if that was instruction from Ange saying you can go, I'm giving you a bit more permission to go long or not, but that was the case. But yeah, after such a long wait, had to be patient, but the patience paid off.
Yeah, finally. I don't know how many more times we're going to see him in a Spurs shirt, but I do expect him, after the new keeper coming in, to still be our 3rd choice keeper, having recently just signed a 5-year contract. And look, it's the guy that bleeds blue and white, because how many players are just going to stick around their whole career just to be a 3rd choice keeper? Yeah. And that's pretty much what he's done. He's been at Spurs since he's 15, 16 years of age, and all this time just waiting for this moment. And it's come, and he passed the test with flourishing colours. So it's great to see that we've got a 3rd choice keeper of that high quality, to be honest. And, it begs the question, like, after that performance, do you feel like we should have been playing him over Forster?
Based on that performance, potentially. Obviously, Forster's the more experienced keeper, and Forster has done well in part. But obviously, those are games where he's cost us with the ball at his feet for sure, and maybe Austin showed he's a bit more comfortable in that aspect of the game.
More mobile as well.
Yeah, a bit more mobile, gets out of his box a bit more than Forster. So I think there's a case for it but it's only one game, isn't it? If I asked you that based off some performances Forster was playing earlier when he came in, maybe we wouldn't be saying this. Yeah,
that's also true. But look, brilliant from Brandon. And yeah, he deserves all the credit that he gets coming his way after the game yesterday. Number 2 is precise Porro.
Yeah, and what a brilliant cross that was for Pedro Porro for the goal. And look, that follows on, I think, the last couple of games, much improved display from Pedro Porro. And I think, in fact, in general, defensively and offensively, a much better performance from him. 5 tackles, 5 out of 6 ground duels won as well. He was 3 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 last man tackle as well. And his crossing, 2 out of 8 crosses were accurate, which I don't understand how that can be, because he got 1 for the goal, and then I definitely remember 2 he made, which Solanke definitely got on the end of. So it must be at least 3 crosses there. So I don't know how it says 2, but it says 2 key passes as well. And obviously he got that assist, and that assist actually takes him this season to 6 goal contributions now. And considering, for a fullback, we were saying he's not maybe getting as many goal contributions as he was getting last season, but he's got 6 already now this season, which is not a bad total for a fullback.
What did he get last season?
Maybe 10 overall.
I'm just checking it. So, yeah, he's got 4 assists and 2 goals. Where, I mean, he's had 3 assists in quite quick succession, hasn't he? He got 1 from the corner when Bentancur scored. I think there was another one from a corner as well. And then this one where he got 1 on the first game of the season, I think it was. Pedro Porro. He scored first game of the season, but he got 1 early on, I think. But yeah, last year he got 10. So he is creeping up on that. But I hope
he's over halfway there.
Yeah, and there's halfway of a season to go.
I guess, yeah, true.
So yeah, you would still expect him to better last season, where he's probably on track to probably just equal it.
Which is not bad. I mean, 10 goal contributions a season from a fullback is a good total.
Yeah, true. But you just expect people to get more season on season.
Not necessarily. I think 10's a good total. I mean, that means that implies in 3 seasons he'll be getting like 20 goal contributions.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, Trent levels.
Trent, how many goal contributions he got this season?
This season, let's have a look. I think less.
He's got 5, so he's got more than Trent.
Yeah, but I mean, Trent has it in him to get 9, 12 assists in the season. You know what I mean?
So does Porro. He got 7 last year.
Yeah.
So, like, I think I mean, 10 a season, I don't think you can expect much more than that from a look, if he's capable of it, but I think
But
10 a season is a good total.
particularly in the way we play our fullbacks when they're pretty much playing as number 10s for the majority of it, you'd expect them to get more than maybe usual.
I think, yeah, I just think 10's fine. I think if your fullback is getting 10 goal contributions, that's a good total.
Number 3 is Reguilon's unexpected cameo.
Yeah, coming on at half-time, very impressive from Sergio Reguilon. Obviously, a big surprise considering, even though we had players out, Reguilon coming on at half-time with drag machine going off, where everyone was wondering what was going on. But he actually had a really good cameo, and credit to him. In terms of the numbers, he had 7 out of 9 ground duels won, 3 out of 5 aerial duels won, 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, only dribbled past once as well. No key passes on the day, unfortunately. None of his 3 crosses were completed. Did complete one of his 1 dribbles. Did have 55 touches, but defensively was actually a really good cameo from him.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very impressed and very pleased with him, because a player that's been out in the cold, a player that we should have been using more over the course of the season. He gets his chance to play 45 minutes, and I think he passed the test. So happy for Reguilon, and I just hope he gets more chances now to ease the burden on some of the other players in the squad. So look, he's not going to be here past this season. We all know that. So let's use him while he's here. And number 4 is going to be Bergal passes the test.
Yeah, and a big test yesterday for Bergal. Obviously, he had his first test in the Premier League against Southampton and was very comfortable in that game, or in the 5-0 win. But obviously, coming up against Joel Linton, Tonali, Guimaraes, it was going to be a very difficult test for him. And I thought he passed it yesterday, and such an extent that the fans were booing his substitution when he went off. In terms of the numbers, 3 out of 4 ground duels won, 1 out of 1 aerial duels won, 3 clearances, 2 block shots, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle. It does say 1 error that led to a goal, but obviously that was the handball. 3 out of 5 long passes completed, 82% passing accuracy as well. So I thought he competed really well in the middle, up against under really difficult circumstances, and I thought he really put himself about. I thought he was starting to really make an impact in the game that second half as well before he got taken off. So really impressive display from Lucas Bergal.
Yeah, and against one of the most physical midfielders in the Premier League, you're looking at Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Linton, and Sandro Tonali, 3 of them very aggressive players, particularly Joe Linton. And look, he did brilliantly. And that shows at the age of 18, coming from the Swedish league like that, and your second start in the Premier League, that is such impressive stuff to do. And his quality on the ball sets him apart from a lot of players as well. So he's just going to keep growing in a Spurs shirt. So impressed with him. And I think he's backing up all the claims that, when we signed him, everyone said, how good this guy's going to be. We're seeing it in front of our very eyes now for Lucas Bergal. So he's going to keep going on strength to strength in this second half of the season, in my opinion. And 5th and final takeaway is fair and equal.
Yeah, and Ange, obviously, that was the phrase he kind of was using a lot in his post-match interviews. And in fact, in his the stats that say in his post-match interview in Match of the Day, he said the words fair and equal, the term fair and equal 9 times in that post-match interview, in what was quite a fiery, pumped up Ange Postecoglou in that post-match interview. So he was demanding that if everything was fair and equal, he would have won that game. That was what he was saying. And he used that term kind of a lot to suggest that. So, look, I can understand his frustrations. We did have a lot of things go against us. Joel Linton could have been sent off. Dan Burn could have been sent off. They could have had a goal ruled out for handball as well, plus all the circumstances going into it with injuries and flu and all that kind of stuff. So a lot did go against us that contrived for us to lose the game. But do you agree if everything was fair and equal, we would have won?
Yeah, probably, because Joe Linton and Dan Burn both would have been sent off. So we've been playing against 9 men. So I do think we would have won against 9 men. I share his frustrations. I do. No, there's no but to it. I just share his frustrations, because Newcastle were super aggressive yesterday, and they were just constantly fouling, constantly on us. And this is like a hallmark and staple of this Newcastle team over the last couple of years, just so aggressive, constantly making fouls, and a lot of the time don't get punished for them. So maybe Ange Postecoglou has alerted the authorities of it now, and maybe they'll start getting punished a bit more. But yeah, very frustrating yesterday. But is what it is. Another loss on the table for Tottenham Hotspur, which makes it 10 losses in the season this year. But that is our 5 takeaways. Those are the 5 things we learned from the game.